Let's try this again. Because, yeah, okay. You're listening. You're listening to the Lutheran Ladies Lounge podcast. I'm Sarah.
I'm Erin.
I'm Bree.
And I'm Rachel.
Today, we're talking about food again because food is probably one of our top 3 favorite things. Yeah. Maybe top 1 favorite thing for some of us. It is an Erin's recipe card, and we like to talk about throwing lots of foods together in a bowl and calling it a salad. So today we're talking about potato salad and maybe a German variety of a potato salad. You'll have to see. So Erin, take it away.
Well, we are indeed, because this is the time of year that in any other year, lots of churches would be thinking about their Oktoberfest. And so that made me think about the fact that I have never made German potato salad, and I wanted to give it a try. Potato salad as a whole, I mean, as a whole genre of food, is a classic potluck option suitable for really any time of year because there's so many different varieties. So I thought, well, potato salad as a whole would be a great thing to talk about, and I was hoping that I'd be able to reach out to our ladies in the lounge and get some advice on German potato salad in particular, and they did not disappoint.
Nope. How many recipes did you get? Did you count them?
I did not count them this time. I did previously, but there are a lot of them. It is interesting, though. German potato salad, one, in America, German potato salad is a thing. It is German potato salad. In Germany, it's not like the only potato salad they eat is that one variety. No, it turns out that is much more of a regional thing. So especially southern and eastern parts of Germany are the ones that are more likely to be using vinegar-based potato salads. And Eastern, a lot of times you start getting into, it turns out, using things like pickle juice in the potato salad as a little variation. But like southern Germany, in particular Munich, is sort of where what we think of as German potato salad, that is their classic regional variety. In Western and Northern Germany, they are much more likely to be doing the cold mayo-based potato salad. And it turns out that potato salad can be even much more specific than that. So people in Germany often are even more loyal than Brie to a particular brand of mayonnaise. And they feel they cannot make their potato salad, it won't be the same if they can't get their mayonnaise. And so if they live far from home, they might have to just go without potato salad because they can't get that one particular mayonnaise that's essential. It's essentially the quintessential ingredient to make their potato salad true. So that was interesting.
Wow.
Yeah. So then I started wondering if the immigrants that came and settled in, for example, Wisconsin, did they tend to come from the southern and eastern part of Germany? And that's why we think of German potato salad as what German potato salad is. I was not able to get that far down the line, and Rachel, it looks like, thinks no, that is not where they tended to come from. So
I'm gonna well, actually no, there's a lot. The reason I say that is and your Eastern Germany is, but I'm gonna actually walk that back because the southern part of Germany tends to be mostly Catholic.
Mm-hmm.
And so where you've got the Bavarian influence, you know, you're going to have the German Catholics, but there are tons of German Catholics in Wisconsin. So your
Yes,
theory
there are.
might still hold. Sure, why not?
And you know
What's
what? Oh, go ahead.
What's really blowing my mind is that both hot potato salad and cold potato salad are technically German potato salad.
Yes.
It's like blowing my American mind.
Indeed.
Pretty much any potato salad is German.
It's probably another case of us assigning a German, like a country name to a food that country is like, what? Why are you doing that to us? Like French fries. The French are like, why did you saddle that with us? Like our name is associated with the massive American junk food. Why did we have to do that?
Is it always with potatoes too? Like what? I have so many questions right now.
The extreme irony is the potatoes are not a European
A
food.
New World
They're South America.
Indeed. As I looked at the many recipes that were submitted for German potato salad in particular, one, I noticed a common theme. That is large scale recipes. These are recipes that are built to serve a crowd.
20 pounds of red potatoes. I love it.
One fine lady had a recipe that had it available to serve 80 people, 40 people, 20 people, and 10. Like she had variations for hers, but 10 was the smallest that she got her recipe down to, and she had recently made it for 80 people. So,
and that, friends, is why my son's baby food was German potato salad. Ken was serving his vicarage, and we ended up getting sent home from church dinners with a lot of it. And I found out that he loved it at 7 months old. And so he ate a lot of German potato salad.
That is amazing. The most Lutheran thing ever.
Still loves potatoes, still loves bacon. So something
literally cut his
really early on there.
Yeah. The other interesting thing is that there's a lot of consistency. So while there's small tweaks in the recipe, there's still essentially just small variations, like on, the ratio of bacon to potato. That might be a little different from recipe to recipe. How saucy it is, as far as like the amount of sauce to potato, that ratio. I like a saucy potato salad. I continue to follow. That must be something in my Lidke heritage that I get from my mom. So there's that. But all of them consistently are calling for bacon, onion, potato, vinegar. Another little variation that I was intrigued by was flour versus cornstarch for the extra little bit of thickening that you need to make the dressing stick a little bit better. So that was a small variation. But for the most part, you aren't seeing things like, oh, my family likes it with this really crazy ingredient or anything like that. They're all very classic recipes. Doesn't mean those aren't out there, but as far as the ones that were submitted as the ultimate German potato salad recipe, they had a lot of consistency in them. Let's see. The other thing, and they also, another consistent thing that everyone agreed on was that you must use bacon fat to fry the onions that are used. That is, bacon fat is actually also a key ingredient. Not just bacon, you need the fat as part of the dressing. You aren't using any other fat for the dressing. All of the fat, all of the oil that you would typically use in a dressing is coming this time from bacon fat.
I'm going to just applaud that. I mean, I keep a mason jar full of bacon grease in my fridge at all times, and I use it as much as I use vegetable oil because it's amazing.
It is.
If you're buying bacon anyway, it's free.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Right now,
if for no other reason.
my house is redolent of bacon and onion with a little bit of like the sweet cider, little overtone above it all. And I'm not unhappy at all. This is a great way for a house to smell. After a couple days, I might sing a different tune, but right now I'm feeling happy.
Fumigate it.
Yeah. So something that was interesting, we had a few people in the group who have talked about their experience living in Germany, and they talked about the fact that in Germany, if you say you're bringing a salad to a potluck, it is pretty much assumed that you are going to bring a very starchy salad. So either a potato salad or a pasta salad. It will not be a vegetable salad. If you want to get crazy like that, you need to specify that you are bringing a green salad. Because otherwise people are going to they're counting on a delicious potato salad, and you have disappointed by bringing this crazy green thing. So there that was an interesting thing. Also, they commented that Germany, even though potatoes are indeed a new world food, and we can be proud of that, the Germans, maybe this is part of, I don't know, they're very precise people, right? I feel like that's what I have often learned about Germans, is they're very precise. They have very specific uses for certain potatoes. And in fact, those are often labeled. So when you're at the store, the potatoes, they'll give you a little background on them. So this is a potato that's good for mashing, or this is a potato that's good for frying. This one is good for baking, or this one is good for dumplings. So potatoes, and in fact, this does actually line up with that made me remember what I had read about in one of my favorite cookbooks, The Joy of Cooking, which gives all sorts of background on all your food. I often will enjoy just, reading The Joy of Cooking. So potatoes.
Why not? I like reading hymnals. You like reading recipe books.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
Potatoes, The Joy of Cooking classifies them in 3 general categories as far as the classic potato goes. That we're going to exclude sweet potatoes and other tubers, okay? But the classic potato comes in the baking variety, which is the russet. That's the one that looks like a sort of brown paper bag skin. It's sort of rough. It's not shiny. They're big. They're very light and fluffy. So they are the bakers. Those are not good for potato salad because they fall apart. They don't hold their shape. They're too light and fluffy. Now, some potato salads, though, I have observed, want to take advantage of that. But if you like a chunk of potato that's going to hold its form as you're mixing it up with the dressing, then you don't want to use a baking potato for that. Also, if you try and boil a baking potato, it is going to get waterlogged. It will lose its fluffiness. So there's lots of workarounds here, and you could choose to bake your potato and then chunk that up and use it in your potato salad. But anyway, then there are the boiling potatoes, and those are usually the red potatoes are a classic boiler. So red potatoes are great. You can also bake boiling potatoes, and they turn out great. And then there's the all-purpose potato, like the Yukon Gold. You can bake it, you can boil it. I know everyone loves the Yukon Gold. It's potato perfection.
They're so buttery.
So they are. They do have that little sweetness to their taste. Yes. Big fan of the Yukon Gold. The other interesting thing about potatoes is that once you cook them and then they cool, they convert. The starch in them converts. And it's no longer, it's not going to give you as strong like an insulin response in your body because it has converted once it cools. And even if you reheat them, it doesn't go back. It's been changed forever in the process of cooking. So there's probably somewhere you could use that to make a children's message.
Jesus
I was gonna
has
say
boiled the
that's-
potato of my
That's
heart.
very theological right now.
These episodes don't usually veer into theology, but
There it is.
you know, you could try. You might have to stretch. I chose to make. I'm going to tell you about the potato salad that I chose to make, and then I'm gonna try some because I haven't tried it yet, and I'm eager to see how did it turn out. And then I also want to hear from you guys your thoughts on potato salad. So for the potato salad that I ended up making, I decided to combine, as I do, a few recipes because the recipes that I had access to, none of them seemed to quite match up with what my situation was. I mean, I am a single person. I did not want to make potato salad for 10 people, much less for, 80 people.
You need to buy a new freezer.
Exactly. So, but as I looked at another recipe that had only 1.5 pounds of potatoes in it, and I thought, oh, that sounds like a much more feasible amount. It looked to me, I'm like, oh, I like a saucy recipe. And I did a little math comparing the ratio of sauce and potato from recipe to recipe. And I found that the recipe that had fewer potatoes in it, I felt it had a little bit of a scanty amount of sauce, and I wanted more sauce. Then I also was comparing bacon to potato ratio because I do like bacon. So I did a lot of that. And then I landed on a recipe that I ended up making. There's no surprises in it because, as I said, all the German potato salad recipes are all essentially slight variations on a same theme. I decided to go with cornstarch for the thickener because I am the gravy guru of my family at Thanksgiving, and I like a cornstarch thickened gravy. I think it has a little bit of a brighter flavor to it, and so I thought, well, why wouldn't I want that with potato salad? So I chose to go the cornstarch route as far as the thickener. I did decide to use one of the recipes that was included, did feature, and Rachel will not be surprised to know that I couldn't resist it, did feature a slightly surprising ingredient, and that was mustard. It included some whole grain mustard, and I thought, oh, that does sound good.
That
So
does
I
sound
decided
good.
to add that in.
Good choice.
So the recipe that I ended up on, I used 1.5 pounds of red potatoes, boiled until they were nearly done, and then I drained them. And then I chose to slice them because I did not have, the potatoes were not small. I only had, the potatoes I had, they were big. They were large potatoes. So I needed to slice them. 1 small onion chopped, 1/2 pound of bacon fried and crumbled. And then I used 4 tablespoons of the bacon fat to saute the onions. Meanwhile, I mixed up 4 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, 4 tablespoons of water, 2 tablespoons of sugar, which was a little less, but one of the recipes said you can use less if you want. Often it looks like people use equal parts vinegar, water, and sugar. But I thought, cutting the sugar in half doesn't sound bad in this day and age. So did that. 1 teaspoon of cornstarch and 1.5 tablespoons of whole grain mustard. So I mixed all of that together. And then once the onion was soft, then you just mix everything together and let it sit. Everyone agrees that German potato salad gets better as it goes. So ideally, I would have made this yesterday and then let it sit overnight and then enjoyed it today. But I made it this morning instead. Also, you have the option to reserve a little bit of bacon to sprinkle it on top and make it pretty. You could also use like a little bit of green onion sprinkled on top or parsley to make it pretty. I did not have that, but I thought it sounded nice, so I chopped up a tiny bit of kale. So in the picture, there's a little bit of little bit of green. I'm not going to taste it, I'm sure, but it looks a little prettier. So I did a little food photo staging to make it look extra appetizing.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
Because I know that German potato salad, one of the things that sets German potato salad apart from like what would come to mind for me as potato salad is that it's served warm. So if you were to make it the night before, I guess my question is it shelf stable? Like, would you refrigerate it?
Yes, that is something that one of the recipes actually did specify. You should serve it warm or room temperature.
Okay.
But they did actually then go on and specify store the leftovers in the fridge. So there's nothing that's going to quickly go bad by any means. It'll be fine sitting on, your potluck table over the course of an afternoon. But overnight, go ahead and pop it in the fridge, and then you can just warm it up again when you're ready to serve it. So if you did make it the day before, I would say you just reheat it when you want to go and serve it.
Cool.
I gotta say, I hate our virtual life so much right now. Knowing that your house smells like German potato salad. They made all of that, and none of us can enjoy it with you. It's a tragedy.
When we reunite, we should make like mad potato salad and just eat that. And, like,
we're just gonna have a big potluck.
Yeah.
We can all record together.
This is fantastic.
You're not helping.
My mouth watering.
The mustard in particular, I think that was a brilliant addition to this tasty thing. So one of the recipes that was shared in the discussion was one, and they never followed up. They described it, and then I was like, I have to have the recipe, and they haven't gotten back. So please, if you're listening to this, I want the recipe for the Latvian potato salad, where they include everything in it, including pickled herring and beets.
Ooh.
It sounds, I know, it doesn't that sound like it was made for me, Rachel? I mean,
yeah, and me too. Okay, I second the plea, please. Send Erin the recipe and she can share it with us.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe we'll yet get that Latvian potato salad. With the potato question, though, I did not intend that it be only German potato salad that we were talking about. Potato salad is fantastic in all its forms. You guys talk while I eat for a while. Talk about some potato salad in your own life and your own opinions.
So I think I'm going to interject, Rachel, because I know that you also, well, unless you want to go first because you can't possibly help yourself any longer.
No, I'll go last. That way we'll be bookended with.
Well, So I want to interject because I did not have the opportunity to make potato salad this week, unfortunately. In fact, I don't believe I've ever made potato salad before. I'm glad that I am now armed with tens, dozens, hundreds of recipes to now try. But I would like to basically express my gratitude for my favorite potato salad in the St. Louis metropolitan area. And that is the potato salad at Urban Chestnut Brewing Company in the Grove neighborhood. It is the best. Like, let me just tell you. So for me, I am a little particular about my potato salad, and this potato salad at Urban Chestnut hits all the notes for me. So I like a red potato salad, not sweet at all. I like it to be savory. I like it to be creamy. I like a little crunch to it, maybe with some onions or some bacon or both. And let me tell you, it's fingerling potatoes that have been cooked, and it's chunks, so they've cut them up maybe in 2 or 3. They mix it up with just this very like creamy, savory dressing. It's very mayonnaise thick, and they probably use Hellmann's. Okay, I maybe didn't listen to the first 10 minutes of this. I wasn't paying attention to the first 10 minutes because I was imagining life without Hellman's mayonnaise, and I was like, how do you live like that?
Uh-huh.
But on top of that, they have like these, I believe it's freshly like, but it's like bacon bits. It's like fresh bacon bits. So
Mhm.
it's kind of a texture thing, but there's also kind of a chew to it. And also there is, I believe, chopped green onion in there as well. And so they serve it with a lot of their like entrees. And honestly, if I could just go to Urban Chestnut and be like, bro, just put your potato, like fill up a pint glass with this potato salad and give me a fork,
It's a
and I will eat
masterpiece.
that, and that will be my supper.
Sounds fantastic.
Yeah, and honorable mention, I think, would be the deviled egg potato salad at Bogart's Barbecue. I do love a good, like, anytime that you can implement deviled eggs into a recipe, like, heck yes, get on that. Like, get me
Mhm.
some of that. It is a little bit on the sweeter side, probably because of the paprika, maybe because of the mustard vinegar thing going on. I don't know. I don't have the recipe, but delicious. Delicious as well. St. Louis, maybe in a close second to Germany for potato salad.
Excellent.
There may be some people in Wisconsin and Minnesota and Michigan who want to fight you for that.
They can fight me. I'll give you my address.
So I don't have a lot of like childhood memories of potato salad. I'm sure I ate it a bunch at potlucks and stuff. I think I just rather enjoyed the Jello salads more than the potato salads and the pasta. I was a big pasta fan when I was a kid. I know that I like the mayonnaise one, the cold ones more than the vinegar ones. And I don't know if that was just like a family thing or that's just what people brought. And so that's what I'm used to. I don't really remember. And now I'm intolerant to nightshades, and unfortunately, potatoes are a nightshade. So, real, actual potato salad is not a thing for me anymore, which is super sad. However, sweet potatoes are not nightshades. So, for all of my food intolerance friends who also can't eat nightshades, there are so many recipes for sweet potato salad, which is a ethnic Arab Middle Eastern food that also has all of the great Middle Eastern spices like coriander and cinnamon, black pepper, ginger, and lots of sweet potato and onion. But then there's other ones that are really similar to what we think is traditional potato salad recipes with the bacon and the mustard and all of those things. So if you either don't like normal potato salad, which I know there's some ladies in the lounge who don't like potato salad, but if you like sweet potatoes, or if you can't eat nightshades, go check out some sweet potato salad recipes because I want to try making some of these now too. They look really, really good. If we have grain-free friends too, does arrowroot work for a thickener? Because cornstarch and flour might be issues for some people, but arrowroot works really well for stuff.
I don't see why it wouldn't because it's still activated by heating, right?
Yeah.
So then I don't see any reason why it couldn't work. You should keep in mind that, for example, with regular potatoes, as I was considering how much cornstarch to use, because I looked at my special ratio that I have recorded for making gravy, and I looked then at the various recipes that mentioned cornstarch, and I decided to use significantly less than I would. So start with a little bit, less than you think you'll need, because potatoes have their own starch. And so they're going to help thicken things to begin with. And I'm guessing sweet potatoes will have an element of that as well. And they also tend to sort of soak up, potatoes and sweet potatoes both are going to soak up liquids. So if you're going to let it sit for a bit, so you don't need much. It just needs a little bit to thicken it just a bit and help it cling to the potato. So that's
and you can buy potato starch.
Yeah, that's true. That's
no
true. You
reason
could
you
also
couldn't
potato
use
starch. Definitely, that could be another fine option.
So I know that Latvian potato salad was brought up in the thread. I feel, because Sarah, you had touched upon like Middle Eastern flavors.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't there there was a potato salad from an Asian country in there?
Yeah,
So
there
that
was.
was brought up. I
There
don't know
was
if there was any
Korean
follow-up.
potato salad that was
Okay.
mentioned. There was also a Turkish potato
Oh.
salad recipe that was shared that looks amazing. Potato salad is definitely one of those things that crosses a lot of different cultures because potatoes are so friendly. So
Yeah.
you can
They
take it in
are.
lots of directions.
And I seem to remember reading, a couple years back, and I'm going to, any history buffs out here, go read 1493, Uncovering the New World Columbus Created by Charles Mann. I read it a couple years ago, and it just was full of really interesting information about, among other things, the flow of foods from their native areas to all around the world. Potatoes took off partly because you can get like 4 times as many calories out of the same acreage as you can from wheat. That they are a much more efficient use of agricultural space if what you're going for is just simple nutrition.
Right.
Nutritional value of potatoes is amazing. They are low in fat, low in sodium, really high in potassium. Good source of fiber, good source of protein, high in your B vitamins and your vitamin C. You can get vitamin C from potatoes. So that they are, if you were going to eat only one food, they are on that list of things that could possibly sustain you.
They're one of the few, complete foods.
Yes.
So nobody should feel bad about eating the potato salad off at the salad table at a potluck.
It's not, I mean, you don't want to go overboard and be a pig. Maybe you do. I'm not going to judge if you do. But you don't need to be afraid of potatoes because they are, as Erin says, a complete food. They're good for you.
Yeah.
So this was your first time making German potato salad, Erin. This was my first time ever making potato salad.
Nice.
I enjoy potato salad in small quantities. I don't think I would ever eat a pint at a time, but I hated it for a long time for the simple reason that I hate raw onions. And it seems like those are a component in nearly every classic potato salad recipe. And as a teenager, you go through the potluck line and you're just not going to risk getting that bite of something that's going to be an unpleasant surprise. Yeah.
Yep.
The other thing is that if I'm going to spend a couple of hours fiddling with potatoes, there are a few other things I'm going to do with them before potato salad. Our family really loves home fried potatoes, which are generally a fair amount of work, but boy, they're like candy when they're done. Twice baked potatoes. There are so many good potato recipes. And so if I'm going to spend the time and energy, I'm often going to tackle one of those instead. But I'm really glad that I've broadened my repertoire. And this also gave me an opportunity to go touch base with my father-in-law and my husband's grandmother, Grandma Dottie. She's legendary in the family for her potato salad, partly because this saintly woman, whenever she makes the potato salad, she makes 2 versions, one with the raw onions and one without the raw onions.
Yes.
Because she doesn't like the raw onions. So we are soulmates, she and I. So I reached out to her to ask for her recipe, and I did it via my father-in-law since she's had some health setbacks this year. So here's the recipe I got. Boiled potatoes, diced without skins, boiled eggs, shelled and diced, sweet pickles, diced, sweet onion, diced, optional, and mayonnaise mixed in a large bowl, salt and pepper to taste, or let others season themselves. Good luck. So the rough general outline of a recipe, and that was what I needed to just get going. So this is a simple recipe, but it's great. And I had everything I needed in the house, except I happened to have dill pickles instead of sweet. And I thought, we need sweet pickles. So my dear husband ran to the store for me and grabbed me a jar of sweet pickles. But other than that, I had everything I needed. right here. And no, I did not get special potatoes. I used the ones in the bottom of the pantry with
Yep.
like eyes growing all out of them. And
Yes.
Yep. You should use what you have.
right. And they, you know
Yeah.
what? It turned out really well. So what I did was I boiled the potatoes, I boiled the eggs, I waited until they were cooled, and then I peeled and diced them. I added a large number of bits of sweet pickle. And then sort of to get around the onion thing, I went out to the garden and grabbed a couple sprigs of green onion, which for me is much more enjoyable.
Acceptable.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
So got some bits of green onion in there. And then I basically mixed up mayonnaise, sweet pickle juice, salt, and pepper, and mixed it up well and topped the whole thing with paprika to make it pretty. And so I'm going to enjoy this now and see if I had my husband taste it. He said, yep, that tastes authentic. So I felt like that was about right. But I tasted it before I put the paprika on. So I feel like that's important that I redo the taste test now.
You're right. You're right. You should.
Mm-hmm.
How is it? Does it taste like you remember?
Mhm.
Yeah. So I did want to address somebody in the conversation mentioned that she doesn't make potato salad because she also lives alone, and all the recipes are always for these huge quantities. And so I wanted to address the fact that potato salad, much like coleslaw, is very forgiving to make in very small quantities. And now, having made German potato salad, I honestly think that would be very manageable as well. So if you want to make potato salad, all you need to do is chunk up some cooked potatoes. So, I mean, if you bake yourself a potato the night before, throw an extra one in there and then toss it in the fridge overnight. And then the next day you can just chunk up that potato. And then you just add whatever dressing you want. Mayo is classic. You could add some mustard if you want. And if you enjoy mayo or mustard, feel free. You could take it in a different direction and use like Italian vinaigrette as your dressing for it. There's no reason you couldn't go that way.
Greek?
Yeah.
Avocado?
Why not? You could add some feta cheese. I usually use whatever pickles I have, but I almost always have pickled okra because I love pickled okra. So that's a great thing to add. So use whatever pickles you have. If you like a sweet pickle in there, like Rachel's, by all means, chunk up some sweet pickles into that. If you made bread and butter cucumbers and you just have like the marinated cucumbers from your garden sitting and they've been sort of marinating in that vinegar mix for a while, use some of those. There's no reason they have to be full-on pickles. You could use some actual like just cucumbers that have been marinating and mix those in. You like onion? Use the onion. You don't like the onion? Don't do that. But it's all very friendly as far as what you add in there. Even the German potato salad, you could just basically mix up a little bit of, fry up a slice of bacon and then add some onion to it and mix up a little bit of cider, vinegar, and water and add a little bit of sugar if you want, and it's going to be tasty. So don't feel like you can only do this if you have a strict recipe to follow and you're intimidated because the recipes are going to make something for a very large crowd.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I was kind of chagrined at first when I got the recipe and realized there were 0 quantities for anything, that I would just have to make that up as I went. But you know what? It's perfect. I mean, yes, it's almost more pickle salad than potato salad because I got a little carried away, but I got no problem with that. That is just fine. I found that, because potatoes are larger than eggs, 1 egg to 1 potato was about the ratio that would work. But it really could have gone any direction. It's so simple. Just throw some things in a bowl. And I'm going to take back what I said earlier. Maybe I could eat a pint of this stuff. Especially if I make it as pickle-tastic as I
Sweet
that might
pickles
need to
make
be
so
part
many
of
things better.
part of the recipe name is what's Ken's grandmother's name?
Dottie.
Dottie's Pickle-tastic Potato Salad.
Amazing.
And we will be having it tonight with some leftover pulled pork. I made a whole huge batch of it to share with a family that had a baby in the neighborhood. And I think I'm really, really looking forward to this meal now.
Wow.
That sounds
We're all
amazing.
invited, right?
Right.
I'm going to have to make some more if you're coming too. But yes, you are. It's so easy. I will do that for you. Come on over, Sarah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, in the course of the research for this episode, I did put out a poll. And let me say that this time there was a severe failure of maximum science. This poll is my fault. It was my fault. I had intended to limit it so that you could not add extra options. And I know it's fun to add extra options, but that messes up the maximum science. So I couldn't change it, and it was already out there. So here is the results of this poll. At the time that I recorded these results, it was yesterday afternoon, there were 276 votes for German potato salad, 222 votes for a mayo-based potato salad, 131 votes for a mustardy potato salad. All of the rest, mostly just tiny variations of mustard and mayo. I mean, to an extent, somebody put in there a vote for a horseradish mustard potato salad. And I'm like, that is clearly a mustardy potato salad. I mean, I'm sure it's delicious, but still, it didn't need its own option. But anyway, if I lump all the others in that are essentially variations on mayo mustard, a combo essentially, then there's a 195 votes for those. Then we also had 22 votes for I hate potato salad.
Yikes.
And 26 votes for something that wasn't even potato salad at all. So this was just a severe failure of maximum science, and I will try to do better in the future.
I see absolutely no failure here. This is like my favorite poll ever. Happy accident. This is I'm gonna go back through and read all the responses that I missed yesterday because I think this is beautiful.
It was fine. It was fine. And there were some of the votes that were entered I was intrigued by. I'm like, oh, I think that's where you saw the Korean potato salad option, Brie. So that recipe has not been posted yet. If someone out there has a recipe for Korean potato salad, post it in the lounge. We are still eager for these recipes. Surprise us and give us inspiration to try something new, a new twist on an old favorite. I want to hear them. And that Latvian one, the pickled herring and beet. I need that recipe. If you're out there listening, I want that recipe for Latvian potato salad.
The title of my next single is going to be Potato Salads All Over the World.
Holding hands. You know, I'm gonna pulling from my own experience with, potato salad recipes and going off recipe. And I'm going to say, Erin, if they send the recipe, great. If not, it's possible to make potato salad with pickled herring and beets. So do it.
True.
I want to see pictures though.
That's going to be a beauty.
Really just want to eat it, but I'm
with those beets in it. Oh, it's going to be just gorgeous.
So you can find all of those recipes in our group on Facebook. Find us in the Lutheran Ladies Lounge group. You can find all of our podcasts at kfuo.org/Lutheran Ladies Lounge or on your favorite podcasting app. You're listening to the Lutheran Ladies Lounge podcast. I'm Sarah.
I'm Erin.
I'm Bree.
And I'm Rachel.
Views and opinions expressed on the Lutheran Ladies Lounge podcast may not represent the official position of the management or ownership of KFUO Radio, the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod. The Lutheran Ladies Lounge is produced by KFUO Radio and available at kfuo.org or wherever you get your podcasts. Join our community on Facebook in the Lutheran Ladies Lounge.
And here, I'll hold it. I'll see if I can hold it up without dumping it on
That is
Can you see it?
gorgeous.
It's
Isn't it
beautiful.
beautiful?
Here.
Yeah.
Mm.